The Fruits Basket movie.
Basket movie. What is it called?
Fruits Basket the movie.
Are you shitting me? What?
Anyway.
Wow.
Anyone who's unfamiliar, Fruits Basket is
a banger of a frickin'...
It's a shoujo.
Shoujo?
Yeah.
Isn't it like a harem?
No. They're not all in love with her at all.
Okay.
This chick's moms die. Mom dies. And, she's living in the woods because she doesn't want to be a burden to her grandfather.
How do I...
The pretty boy of the school sees her and he's like, hey, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, nothing, it's cool. And then there's a mudslide and it crushes her tent.
That she was living in the woods.
Mm-hmm. And they're like, why don't you just live with us? Me and my uncle, I don't know what the fuck he is. I don't know what he's how he's related to Yuri, but...
Do you remember how he explains their relationship?
Their cousin, they're part of the same house.
So does he
the
call him
same
a cousin?
clan? No, I don't remember.
Okay.
But he's like, okay, well, come live with us. And she's like, no, I can't do that. And he's like, just fucking get in the house.
Get in the house!
Because she has a fever. When she wakes up, a hot-headed, red-haired,
hot boy
shows up. And he's like, fuck you, Yuri.
And then he leaves.
Well, then they start fighting, and she's like, what the fuck, stop. No! And then when she, accidentally hugs them, it's hard to tell what counts as a hug. But anyway.
Wasn't it comes into contact? That's the rule?
That.
Yeah.
I think, you can hold hands. I don't know. But they do that. Both of them, she hits all of them. All three of them. And, they turn into a rat, a cat, and a dog. And it's revealed that they're the members of the Chinese zodiac. And that they're cursed. And that if anybody from the opposite sex hugs them, they turn into animals. And they're all destined to fucking die alone. And the leader of the house is a...
You know him well?
Psycho motherfucker. But then it ends up not being their fault. Anyway. It's a love story.
Yeah.
I love it. It's fucking hilarious. So, the movie came out, and my friend was like, did you watch it yet? I said no. He only asked because he knew that I liked Fruits Basket, not because he even watched it. Okay, cool. So...
Kind of a bro move.
It was a bro move. I pulled that shit up, and it's an hour and a half movie. The first 45 minutes is or at least I would say 20 to 30 minutes is just a recap of the anime. So, Kyo, the orange-haired boy, and Toru, we get recaps of their relationship.
Which you know if you're freaking watching the movie.
Yeah, literal clips from the anime that were recycled, I believe. I was like, alright. Cool. And then it stops. And, we get what we came here for, which I guess is Toru's parents' backstory.
Huh?
I don't know. Toru's mom has red hair.
Uh-huh.
Like Kyo, which I always thought was weird.
Okay.
But anyway, apparently she grew up in her house as a delinquent and her parents didn't like her. So she was in a gang. And then they were like, alright bitch, get your shit together. And so there's a guidance counselor at the school or something. He's he doesn't work at the school, but he works for the school. And he starts schmoozing on her. It's not super blatant, but he's totally, out of line. He's hitting on... Well, she's, 16?
Oh, that makes it better.
Well, still. So he's schmoozing on her, knowing that she comes from an abusive home. Takes her out on lunch dates, hangs out with her after school. It's fucking weird. She graduates, and they hang out.
Oh, shit! Wasn't paying attention, I'm so sorry.
She gets her ass beat by her old gang.
Hold on, is this like a freaking step-by-step recap of the entire movie?
I'm missing some steps, I guess.
Well, what? Just hit me with like the events.
Well, I don't remember what leads to it, but her parents are like, "We're gonna disown you, you fucking bitch," or the dad is. The mom's like, "Don't do that," but the dad's like, "Get out of here! I'm ashamed. I don't have a daughter anymore." And so, homie shows up. Like, it's already been...
The guidance counselor.
Yeah. It's already been, like, a year or two, I think. And he shows up, and he's like, "Oh, okay, cool. I'm gonna make her my wife, then." And they're like, "What?"
So she's 16 now?
16 or 17. She's still not legal, that's all I know.
I thought she was, like, freaking 14.
Well, she's not legal. Because he's at least, like, 23, 25.
Oh, yeah, that's freaking creepy, but, like, I thought she was 14.
She's still a child. Anyway, he shows up at the door and busts in, and he's like, "If you don't want her, I'll take her as my wife." And they're like, "But she's a child." And they're like, "You just disowned her."
So she's a child, but she's not yours.
Uh-huh. And the dad's like, "Fine, whatever, I'll send the paperwork. If you want her, you can have her. I don't give a fuck. Here's my consent." And so they leave, and
then the next thing that happens...
she's like, "You can't be fucking serious, dude." Even though she's super in love with him, I guess.
Okay.
Because it's the only person that's ever shown her kindness.
That's not love. That's...
Well, you know, trauma responses.
Yeah.
He's like, "No, it's cool.
No, it's totally okay.
It's totally cool.
An adult and a teenager to smash.
I need a wife. I was waiting for you to get out of high school, but..."
That's bad.
He straight up says that, and I was like,
that's
"No,
bad.
you motherfucker!"
That's all bad.
But it's okay, because he ends up being a wonderful, wonderful husband. Considering the target audience, that is a
whoops
fucking terrible, terrible message. It's like, well, you know, he knows he's creepy, but it's okay because he's actually, like, the nicest guy in the world. And it's like, no.
I mean, he's a nice guy.
He is. He's the nicest. She becomes pregnant.
She becomes gregnant, which means that they did...
At, like, 17.
They did
like,
grown
really
people
fucking
hugging.
early. Really fucking early, she gets pregnant. And, I forget how he dies.
Whoa!
Yeah, he dies. Big fucking deal.
Okay.
She ends up getting super depressed. And basically neglects Toru. And realizes that for, like, a month she can't remember how Toru has been, like, surviving in their house.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's like, holy shit. And so basically Toru is the adult. She's forever, like, a 5-6-year-old child trying to make mommy happy. And it puts into context the rest of the anime, and that's it. But other than that, it, like, takes away from the mom's character.
Nice.
No,
I'm talking about the dragons, though.
Oh, that's fine. And then, you know, all that wraps up, and I get to the last 90 seconds of the shitty movie, and they show Toru and Kyo walking around somewhere. Like 10 minutes after they moved, after high school, and it's like, oh look, he's training at the dojo like they said. And she's now wearing a sun hat all the time. Aren't they so in love? And I was like, I thought we were gonna see, like, her being a wife and shit.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
So, just to recap, you sat down with the Fruits Basket movie.
Mm-hmm.
It recaps the anime for 30 minutes, then spends the next 45 or so, let's say 50. Whoops. Is this the right place? Oh, yeah, because I can move on. Then it spends the next 50 minutes telling the story. Telling the story of her parents, which is a man in his mid-20s and a teenager in high school, romanticizing this relationship.
Yep.
And from there...
Another 10 minutes or so of,
another
like,
10 minutes
super
or so
big depression.
Of like, the...
Child neglect.
I remember she was going to kill herself.
Mm-hmm.
And then she goes back and be's a mother.
Yep.
Okay.
And all I get of the characters I was there for is that they hold hands and go, wow, I love being together after high school.
We love each other.
We love each other. We love each other.
Here's the thing about that, though, that drives me fricking nuts, is that you sat through the whole thing, even after you were like, this is fricking awful and it's not getting better.
That's time I'm not getting back.
I kept telling you that!
Usually, I stick things out. But I'm realizing with anime, that's one thing
Usually I stick things in.
Anime is one of those things I absolutely... Like, there is no value in sticking it out.
I keep telling you that!
You say that about everything. I had some value in watching, the Snyder Cut.
What do they want me to do with him?
I've watched superhero movies, I've watched shitty movies, I've watched, cheesy horror, there's value. Not once so far.
Damn it.
Has me toughing out an anime.
Not shit the bed.
It hasn't been worth a goddamn thing.
I keep telling you, frickin' stop. It's all you're doing is losing time. You have limited time on this earth. You could spend it doing anything, and you keep choosing to frickin' watch this shitty anime and these shitty frickin' movies.
Well, it's crocheting too, I think.
So frickin' awful.
It was really bad. So yeah, I'm just gonna pretend it wasn't canon.
I don't know if you'll need to pretend too hard.
Everyone was like, nope, fuck this movie.
Here's my problem with Fruits Basket on the whole, is that Toru is severely autistic, and nobody makes mention of it.
She's definitely, obviously she's got, trauma.
But she is a child. She has the mind of a child.
It's kind of sad.
It's incredibly creepy that everybody's, simping for her, and Kyo's like, oh, I'm in love with you, and it's he's, capable of, he's capable of seeing that she's,
so vulnerable.
And even still, he's moving in on her. It's bro, shouldn't you, give her, a second to understand what's going on?
I didn't read it that way, but her interactions with it's not like everybody's in love with her, it's just that, people are taking advantage of her kindness.
Well, there's, a lot of... Yeah, yes, but...
This guy's wings are cool as fuck.
That guy's whole design was cool. Every character has, a romantic moment with her where they stare lovingly into her eyes, right?
Well, they see her as, as a mom.
Sure, but they have a moment where they stare lovingly into her eyes. And, hold her and stuff. So everybody has a moment with Toru where she's, they're, looking into her eyes and they're, making anime faces at each other. And then they just move on. And I'm like, you've just made some pee-pee slime in your pants. Are you going to pretend that didn't happen? What was that? That's not how you treat your mama. That's not how you treat your little sister. That's not how you treat somebody who you're in a freaking platonic relationship with. That's how you treat somebody who you're trying to put your penis in.
I didn't read it like that because I knew that they were just trying
Go back. Go back, I promise you. Go back, you missed something. I was sitting there the whole time this is wrong. This is wrong. She is talking and acting like a child. This goes beyond innocence. This goes beyond being oblivious. And this reaches a level of absolute freaking depravity.
I mean, considering that the author was the one in charge of the fucking story for the movie, I'm not gonna doubt it, because what the fuck kind of message was that?
Dude, it's okay.
I think it's just that, the sense of humor and everything else with the rest of the show was so good that I didn't focus in on those weird moments, because I'm yeah, that's just an anime moment. It doesn't mean anything.
I guess, yeah. And I guess it might just be a trope.
Wow.
It's a weird thing to say to somebody as a greeting.
Mm-hmm. I fucking love his wings. I just spit everywhere.
These are really cool. What was I saying again? Oh yeah, I get you. You watch more anime than I do, so you do have the experience. That's just a trope. So it means less to you. You see it less. But for me, when I see this, it's like even if that is just a trope, that's a freaking scary trope. That's weird.
Yeah.
That's like the sister thing from Spy X Family, where it's like the
Oh
guy,
my god, I know.
he creeps on his sister, and it's like nobody makes mention of it. Like they make this character out to be a joke.
Well, Twilight looks at him and he's like, what the fuck? But that's it.
Yes, but they don't really I don't need them to linger on it. I need that to go somewhere.
Yeah, you need him to call it out. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Just like say something, dude. Say something beyond, oh, that's weird, because now it feels like that,
Oh, you.
like that I think it's like a Murder, She Wrote meme where it's like, tonight's episode, the author's barely disguised fetish. And it's like Japan's already known for creepy sibling stuff. Mm-hmm. And like they're not even freaking trying. He's like, no, my sister, nobody's good enough for my sister.
Gets mad when they fucking hold hands.
And not in a protective way, not at all. And I'm not misreading that either.
No, we lived in a house where my dad was acting like that.
God, your dad's a freaking weirdo.
If I had grown up in Texas,
What?
he would have went full hick, I think.
That was an episode of Family Guy. Not an episode, but it was a bit in Family Guy. They were talking about that on either Oni Plays or Sleepycast, where they were like, I swear to God, there was an episode where Peter tried to click Meg, and I was watching Family Guy one time. What's wrong with that statement? There's something wrong with that.
Go on.
But I was watching Family Guy one time, and Peter's like, he like becomes a redneck. Mm-hmm. And I don't quite know what that means, but he becomes a redneck, and he's like, Meg, come over here. And she sits down on the couch next to him, and he's sitting there shirtless with a red hat on. And he's like, Meg, I'm going to have to do something to you. As you know, I'm a redneck. I'm going to have to do something to you that neither of us are going to ever forget. And she gets up and runs away, and he's like, Meg, come back. I'm talking about sex.
It's funny, because my dad would just sit around shirtless with a hat on and, like...
It's just because that's what the freaking stereotype is. Some stereotypes
it's
are true.
It's funny because I dodged a bullet. I dodged the bullet.
I almost freaking...
But it's not funny. It's fucked up.
It's a... Do I...
He's asleep.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Some stereotypes are true. Like the stereotype about freaking Irish people being freaking really freaking funny. What's the Irish trope again?
The Irish trope is they blow shit up and drink a lot.
That's American. Irish stories.
Yes. They don't go anywhere.
Yeah, so the trope of Irish stories going nowhere.
Are you Irish?
I don't tell Irish stories. I forget the narrative. That doesn't mean it wasn't going somewhere. It's not my fault. Are you Irish? Something about the way you like looked at me. It looked like you like snake lizarded your head and like giraffe necked me. Doesn't make any sense at all. It's getting to the end of a session. I don't know how they do this for like 3 hours on Oni Plays.
I don't fucking know, man. I guess because there's more people involved.
Yeah, it's way easier to keep the energy up when you have more than two.
Yeah.
Like I guess that's why like when it comes to Game Grumps, like the sessions get stale.
Quick.
I wouldn't say quick, but they get stale. What the freaking hell is that?
Oh.
I literally thought that was it's a freaking bulldog.
What the fuck? What it feels like.
How it feels to chew 5 gum.
No, I was trying to what it looks like, what it feels like, type shit.
What do you mean?
Like they show Pokemon, and you see the little pixel guys, and they're like, what it actually feels like, and they have like some metal ass art.
Oh yeah, it's never felt like that for me. I freaking hated. I've always hated those.
I was always like, no. I got to see the big pixel. Like
yeah. Well, it was always really annoying seeing like really well done art of like Ocarina of Time, and it was like what it looked like. It was the actual.
Whoa! He's the cat pilot.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out what he was. Thank you. I was like, that's Alice. That's something from Alice. That's a really creative
That's
remix,
really
though.
cool.
I really like that guy. I want to get a look at these models. I hope I don't have to 100% the game to do that, because I really don't like this game very much. Like, it's Spyro, and I'm playing it because I really want some Spyro.
Mm-hmm.
Had a hankering for Year of the Dragon again.
There's another dragon up there! Go get him!
I gotta scratch my balls.
Ah! Do it. We'll end the episode once you get him.
Okay. That's when it saves. In the meantime, I want to say that, like that, what it looks like, what it feels like bullshit was always really freaking lame. Because, no, it didn't feel that... Like, it certainly felt grand. But we all knew we were playing, like, a Zelda game with pixels and shit.
Yeah, I knew I was pressing buttons on my couch.
Like, I didn't think I was dead when I didn't put the boots on at the right time or something. It was like, freaking... What are you... You're being a freaking idiot. Like, what... It was an experience we were having for the first time, but when you go back to it, you don't have that again. That's not what it felt like.
I like this guy. Hey, come back!
Yeah.
No!
Why is it that these really good designs have the really short